And we're back. Hey, everybody! That's the new countdown. I hope everyone
It
enjoyed it.
worked.
It did. It's astonishing that anything works anymore. Uh, Quick introduction to any folks who haven't watched this before. This is Open Chat. This is the show where I use having to open up a ton of stuff that I haven't opened up yet as an excuse to talk to wonderful friends about whatever. And we'll take comments from you all. It's going to be freewheeling. It's going to be loose. It's going to be probably a bit of a mess, but that's fine. Messes are fun.
They are.
So Steve Evans, welcome back.
Hey, how you doing? It's been a while.
I
A
hope
year?
everyone
Not
has
quite
got,
a year.
I think it's been about a year,
Yeah.
right?
We look grayer. I look grayer.
I
You've imparted yourself into the power of mirror and reflection. You've become this
surely
sort of quasi celestial being.
you know what? I want to, you know what? I've inserted myself into my own video.
That sounds painful, but anyway, that's all right.
I think we look more dignified. I think dignified.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the word.
You had
I
a
must
big
remind my wife
birthday.
that.
You had a big
Yeah.
birthday over the course of the past year.
I did. Big 5-0. And
Not only a big
I wish I
five-
could say most people sound surprised when I said, yeah, I turned 50, but no, they'll just go, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
that and your Instagram account has really taken off even more
Getting there,
in the past year.
Yeah, 18,000 now. Thank you very much. It's great. I know everyone thinks it's a little cliche when you say, oh, the Instagram family and the community is really important to me. It really is. It's like, I wouldn't say it saved my life, but it made it a lot happier over the last sort of few years, especially over COVID. And it's just continued. I use it every day just to gain insights and listen to what people are saying. It's an invaluable tool for work, but at the same time, it's a great social direction for me, just personally, because I don't have many mates. I don't have many friends. I'm quite introverted. I know some people go, oh, you're well extroverted. Shut your face. I'm like, no, I'm actually quite introverted. So.
Well, I mean, you've really, I mean, you put out a steady stream of I'm not going to use the word content, great material over the past couple of years, but over the past year, you really seem to have like really invested yourself. Like there's fun stuff nearly every day.
Thank you.
Does it feel that way? Does it feel like you're really sort of embracing having fun with it even more than you did prior?
Fun with it. Yeah. There's never a time when I'm like, oh, damn it, I've got to put something on. I haven't put something on. I just put stuff on when I want to. And sometimes it sticks and sometimes it really doesn't. And it's like, and I'm fascinated by that. I'm fascinated by like what works and what doesn't and what people like and don't like. Like my lowest post was I'm friends with Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas, for those of you old enough to remember it. And I went to a concert of his and he gave me some, I've forgotten the guy's name, Tinker, whatever, and Nike bespoke handmade sample Nike shoes, and they're like super rare, and he signed them at the concert. And I put a post out saying, look at these are really cool and they're really wicked. I'll grab them. Here we go, we're already on the move. Like these sneakers that are like one-off signed by Taboo, and I thought that's interesting. I had like 12 people look at it. And I was like, all right. Plastic heads are not sneakerheads.
But you never know. You can suddenly have that post blow up at a certain point.
Now, I mean, Taboo is a massive plastic.
But that's the other thing about these accounts is you have to enjoy doing it for yourself, no matter the engagement. So, you know, I have things where I go, I had fun doing that or taking that picture. I guess no one else cared, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then I got people like Mike here, who's like not a fan of me, but loves you. So
thank you, Mike. It's very kind of you. You're obviously a man of distinction himself and taste and and poise.
I'm not going to say he's dignified. Speaking of great customizers, Landspeaker Luke, hello.
Hey, Luke.
We're going to talk about customs. We are going to talk about customs. I'm going to move Toucan Sam off to the side. So the one thing that I never have sorted out yet in all these is having a workable workspace when it comes to opening things.
Yeah.
So you're going to see things fall down.
That's all right. Constantly. That's all good. That's how it works. You got Toucan Sam. I got Toucan Sam as well. I'm wearing my T-shirt. I got to do a little plug for Retro Kid. It's this Canadian company. They make these T-shirts, and they're working with Thumbs One, who's a.
So who else is on it besides Toucan? Is that?
Oh, there's everyone. There's Tony. There's Dig. There's Snap Crackle and Pop. And they worked with this artist called Thumbs One. I don't know, I've forgotten his real name. He's from England, from Brighton, which I used to go to university at. And they did these T-shirts, and I bought one, and they're really good quality. The printing is amazing. Usually when you buy T-shirts, they're like, yeah, okay, they're a bit crappy.
And it's that sort of vinyl, right?
Yeah, it's a good quality, and it has a seam down the side of a T-shirt. You know, a quality T-shirt when it actually has a seam down the side. There's a fun fact. I used to work in the fashion industry, so that's, as long as it's got a seam, you got good quality. Anyway, so sorry, Ken.
No. So if you could actually commission a specific shirt and character, what would you want on the shirt?
Oh my goodness, I'd probably just want like a yak face or something, or a blue stag. Just, I don't know. The thing, I do my own T-shirts, right, and I put them out, and they're no way near as good a quality as these. And I can't obviously put like Star Wars stuff or Marvel stuff because I work for the company, and that's not what I should be doing. So I try and find like Let 'Em Breathe or Mint or stuff like that. But I've always wanted just to like just very simple. Left Coast Graphics does nice kind of vector, just a yak face or a silhouette. Oh, or actually, no, I'm lying. I would love a sorry, you got me going. I would love a Superman, an old 70s Superman logo, right? But just in like a pinstripe white.
Oh,
not like, hey, look at me, I'm Superman, but just really.
So you want
faint.
You want
really
the S shield or the Superman?
Oh, the shield. Yeah, the shield. Sorry, yeah, the emblem. I've never seen one that's like super subtle. I think that would be cool.
So everyone listening,
make me a Superman.
Get on that before this stream is done.
A subtle Superman shield.
You know, I have. Speaking of stuff that you've done, I do have something to open because we're going to start off with not Star Wars. So the people have watched this enough now. There's going to be more than Star Wars opened here. I've got the last two that I needed to finish off.
Oh, good! Congrats.
The retro. So, well, minus the Phoenix that you put out, the Jean Grey Hasbro Pulse exclusive. I didn't manage to get that, but I got everything else.
No, you got to have that. Where's that? Which is that? The red or the green? I can't remember.
That's the green. I think was the
green
Hasbro.
Okay. Oh yeah, and the 2-pack with Wolf. Yeah.
So I open things. I think a little different than you because I save the card backs.
Yeah.
So, but I do open. I know you're big on the opening.
I love.
In fact, that is speaking of, you got a convention coming up this weekend, right? That you're doing?
Yes. Yeah. I will be supporting my friend Chris, who's running ChrisCon. Talk about narcissistic, naming the convention after yourself. ChrisCon down in Milford, Massachusetts, at the DoubleTree Hotel. It's on this Sunday. If any of you are at my neck of the woods, I went last year, and I'm not blowing smoke up Chris's backside. It was a really, really good convention. It's very small, but it had a good mix of retro sellers, modern sellers, artists, toy photographers. They had dioramas, and Chris himself compares it, maitre d's it. So he's up and he's talking to people, and he's running raffles and competitions, and he's a really, really charismatic guy. And so this year I'm going. He's given me a table to sort of set up.
Is this the first time you've had a table?
Yeah, I don't have tables. I only ever do it with Hasbro. So I'm raffling like a Galactus. You'll see up here, there's a gap next to my Sentinel. So I've taken my Galactus down as a showcase to say, here's Galactus. And I've got a mint in shipper Galactus left over that I'm going to give away or raffle. So it's $5 a raffle, and all the proceeds go to Save the Children. So hopefully I'll raise a little bit of money there. And then I'm taking my customs and just showing them. And I'm judging a custom figure competition under my Toy Fan Talent kind of acronym, whatever you want to call that. So I've got like a little award that's made by D. Blake's Makes, who's Damien, who's a great guy.
Which is another thing that you've really sort of leaned into this past year, is establishing that as a showcase for the creativity that's out there.
Oh yeah, Toy Fan Talent. I started that hashtag a couple of years ago. And just because there is so much talent out there in terms of toy photography and pioneers, whether it be, Work for Less or Nose Rain or people like that who are sort of established. I was there when they started kicking off, like early in the days, like 2016 when I was on Star Wars. And, we helped sort of give them a little bit of a showcase on the stand at San Diego. And they've turned a passion into a hobby, into an art form, into a career almost. Some of them are, getting sponsorships and things and doing work. And there are so many people that do really interesting things out there, whether it's toy photography, customization, artistry, paintings, graphics. And I find it really inspiring. So the ones I like, I give it a little tag, Toy Fan Talent, and I award it. And at the end of the year, we have a vote. I sort of give my sort of top 10s, like the Oscars, the Stevies. And the winner will get one of those awards and a T-shirt and some other crap. I don't know. But
by the way, Eric
I
wants to compliment you.
Thank you, Eric. I hope you can understand it. I'm not Australian or Russian. Some person said, "Oh, you speak really good English for a Russian," and I'm like, "What? Russian?"
Listen, this is all an act. You're from Idaho.
Cool. Yeah.
You just don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you've done.
So keep creating and keep challenging and doing things in different ways. I like that particularly as well, when people like photograph stuff in like weird, wonderful ways. So
I've been meaning to ask you, just as a shout out, because it's one of the things. I mean, this is a line that, hopefully it'll be unpaused at some point, but I've loved the artwork that has accompanied this. Who is the artist that?
That's JTC. I always get his name. He's got it's John Tyler Christopher. I think that's the way around. He's got like 3 first names, which really annoys me. It's like, is it John Tyler, JTC, John Tyler Christopher Tyler John? But he does a lot of stuff for us. He does. He's very very broad. Like, he'll do this comic style, but he does a lot of painterly stuff. But he's really good at like pulling off that sort of John Byrne kind of look.
And what's beautiful is that all of the cards feel bespoke to the character. Like, there wasn't a uniformity to them where a small element was defined by the character that was in the box. These are very
based
much
on covers. Most of them are based on covers. You'll find those poses usually on a cover or on a spread. And they're
like, I would buy an art book just of the collection of all of the retro.
I know the number of times I've tried to kick off an art book of our packaging or artists and things.
Now, how do other companies? Mattel's got it. They got their He-Man lines have gotten the art books. The Transformers line has gotten an art book. So Hasbro has done.
It's not our brand. Art. It's not our brand. Hasbro don't own it. So I get on very well with Marvel, my friends at Disney, but things like that don't sort of flow as easily. It's their property, so I can't just go, I'm going to do a book. I'd love to. I wouldn't be my job very long if I did.
So hello, Marvel, out there who are hearing this. Steve's ready to go.
Jesse Falcon. Let's do a book.
It's literally just a bunch of it's uploading to a server, and then they can just run with it with all the artwork, and it's done. Book is.
But what I love is like the fans just go and do it themselves, and I know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, Ken, this is not the case. The last thing I want to get involved in is another art book.
There you go. But
also, I'm assuming it was a Freudian slip on the higher. Yes.
There'll be lots of typos if he writes it. Sorry.
Yes. That's why it's just an art book.
Bless you.
As far as, because you talking about the collecting that you've been doing with the breakfast stuff.
Yeah.
Is there any stuff you're still chasing down? Because it's a very limited amount of merch that's out there in many ways.
It is odd. It is strange.
So it's like it's almost one of those collections that you can go, this is attainable to chase down most of the stuff that's out there.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I've been having a long discussion with our new. I'm
going to put this here while we're talking.
With our new president, we got a new president, Tim Kilpin, who is ex-Mattel. He's now on Hasbro. He's a fabulous bloke, fabulous, very down to earth, and loves toys and all this kind of stuff. I was chatting to him about collecting and the community and how important it is, and we were talking about why some people collect like Marvel Legends, which is, I wouldn't say infinite because it'll eventually end one day, but it's like there isn't an end. You keep going.
Right.
And whereas I can't do that. I find that intimidating, and I find it quite stressful. I like to collect things that are finite.
Yeah, you have the complete 96. You had that. Yeah. You had an ending for that.
I like that. So the serial things are really good. There's a new Blueberry from Jada coming out. I think it's pre-ordered tomorrow from Entertainment Earth. I might pick that up. But I'm always looking back on eBay and looking at the old stuff, and there's nothing at the moment that I look at and go, oh, I need that. I've pretty much got all the stuff I really want. But you'll always find like a plastic little cereal bowl hanger with Toucan Sam on or something like that I look at and go, yeah, okay.
Well, I've been having that thought a lot. because I'm sure you've gotten the question numerous times. Hell, you got it from me before too. Like, what's your holy grail? What's the thing that you're looking for? What's the thing that you really want? But the thing I find more and more now is the things I want simply don't exist. Like, they would have to be created, because I would really like this character or this permutation of that character.
Yeah,
but you're getting into making stuff now. You're actually crafting some stuff.
Well, you're holding. That's a great segue, Ken. I know you had no intention of doing that. Well, you're holding one of the things that was my grail for years and years and years and years and years. And when I found out the Star Wars team, the Lucasfilm team, we were talking about it when I was on it. But when I brought in, look at you, when I brought in the retro Star Wars, like, we kicked that off. It was like, can we do Indiana Jones? Because I didn't like the LJN stuff back in the day. I was like, if Kenner only did Doom and Crusade, that would have been, oh my God, how brilliant would that be? So, yeah, I love that. So that got covered. I wish they'd done. I wish there was a Superman the movie toy line, proper toy line from the movie, not just associated. Although I have a Kenner Superman the movie figure on card, which is,
I mean, that's
completely custom.
But that is one of those things where you're like, somebody has to make this now to realize they get it out of my head and heart.
Yeah, my friend Chris in England, C Kingogram on Instagram.
I mean, you've done some close-ups on that. I mean, the sculpt looks very Chris Reeve as well.
It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. It's very Kenner-esque, and I'm going to try, because Chris had someone sculpt it, but it's static, so it's a statue. It doesn't articulate. So I asked him to run me out some really kind of rough prints, 3D prints, and I'm going to try and mold, cast, break it, and add articulation, and try and make it movable. It'll be awful. It'll be terrible, but it's.
Are you gonna pack in a kryptonite necklace with it?
That's not going in there. I'll have to do that. Say that again, Ken.
So, are you gonna pack in a kryptonite necklace with it?
Oh yeah, see, yeah. Oh, God, I would have died for a Superman the movie toy line, proper action figure.
Also, I love looking at that, because you know what, I love figures coming in good condition, but I do kind of miss the rattle of a loose figure just in a bubble, in that classic way of no inner packaging. It's just everything is just rattling around in there. Maybe you have something taped down, maybe not.
Yeah. Oh, I always remember I remember getting annoyed. I think Leia has like a piece of cardboard between her legs, as it were. Is she? Yeah, some of them used to have pieces of card underneath the feet to sort of stop them kind of falling in the foot of the bubble. And then even as a kid, I used to get really annoyed when it used to come up the side. I used to like my OCD was like, whoa, what the? It's weird, because when I was younger, I was more fussy about packaging than I am now. It's weird.
Well, now I question about if this was for your time when you were on Star Wars, because it's been fun to get sort of an updated version of this. I'm opening a package right now to bring this over.
All those many years ago. Oh my God, that was 9 years ago I started on Star Wars.
So was this towards the end of your Black Series run?
That was one of the last ones. Sam Smith and I worked on that one. It's really Sam Smith worked on that. But I think that was, I would suggest it's probably the last. I think I saw the packaging for that, and then I came out. That was with the face swaps, yeah.
Yeah, but let's talk about the face swap on this as far as a gimmick. Because the thing that just came, that I'm going to open right now when we're talking about this, was...
Oh yeah,
the evolution, the continuance of how to do troop builders in this kind of scale.
Yeah, originally on that Hoth soldier, we were looking at. First of all, we were looking at multi-packs, then we were looking at different heads and stuff like that, and we were going to do like a Rhodian head and like kind of push it more down, video games like Battlefront, things like that. And then I'm sure it was Sam Smith. He was just like, we don't need to do the whole head, just do the face. And then he was like, you can stick it in the backpack and keep it safe. It's like a little rhyme. And I was like, geez, Sam, that's brilliant. So, yeah, that's cool. But I'm glad they brought out the indoor. That's with, is it Nick Sant? I always forget his name. It's Nick Sant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or old man Rex, if you're Retcon.
Whoever they want them to be.
Yeah.
Grandpa Al. If you want it to be
Yeah.
your Grandpa Al, it can be your Grandpa Al as a rebel soldier on Endor.
Yeah, but that's cool. I always and I don't know. I don't think anyone's modelled on. I don't think any of the faces are modelled on anybody like at work, because we used to do that in the olden days. We always used to do that. But like when I joined, I was like, "Hey, could I be one of the Rebel Endors or something like that?" And they were like, "No, we don't do that." And they used to do it all the time. All the Kenner designers and the Hasbro designers of the olden days used to get their faces. And Mark Boudreau's got actually. Let me go and get him. He's actually on. Where are you, mate? Mark Boudreau is ironically on an Endor Rebel Soldier from 2002, I think, like Attack of the Clone era. That's Mark Boudreau, who obviously sadly passed away
Massive
earlier
loss
this year. But he had his own figure. And I always used to tease him about that. I was like, "You got your figure? Where's my figure?"
I mean, he is an Endor soldier. Can you put him next to one of the ships he designed in your display? How many of his? You have the Falcon in your display. How many of the ships that he designed do you have on display right now?
Oh, I haven't got a lot of ships. I mean, he obviously did the barge. He worked a little bit on the Razor. He worked on the Razor Crest, but I don't have many of the other ships. I have. He did the Indiana Jones Well of Souls playset. When I found out he worked on Indiana Jones, I was like, "Oh, talk to me about the Well of Souls." And he said, when I first designed that, it was about 15 inches. No, what am I talking about? About 30 inches high, 15 inches wide, and it had all the. Is it Horus, the jackal god? He had all the statues, and you were meant to play down into it.
Isn't Anubis the jackal gun?
Anubis, that's it. And Anubis, all the Anubis statues. He says you were meant to play down into it. And then obviously, like a lot of things, they get costed out in size and all this kind of stuff. And it eventually ended up as it is now. But like, I think he showed me the original drawings. Did he have the sketches? He keeps everything, or he kept everything. Don't like saying that, but he kept everything. He had I've seen sketches I've seen the plans for the Falcon, the Kenner Falcon, and he's got it all.
So so if someone could make that classic, the version that he intended of the Well of Souls.
Yeah.
Is that sort of another holy grail in this age
cool.
of digital printing? And
that would be wicked. Yeah, I'm sure someone's done it. Someone must have done that out there. But yeah, that would be cool. That would fill, actually. That would be perfect for my Detolf. So that would be the perfect size for a Detolf slot, wouldn't it? It would. It would absolutely be perfect.
I can't believe I'm not able to get this face off. This is the new one, and I've not been able to get this face off. And it feels weird to continue clawing away at this figure's face. You know what? He's just going to hold this for now.
Going to hold a face like Buffalo Bill with like a skinned face.
Or Zartan. He's just going to sit over there like a Zartan.
That's a better reference. Thank you.
A little more friendlier. Oh, this was a simple swap that I did just because I found they were going on clearance.
What is that? That's not a real gray hair, Han, is it?
No. This is the archive re-release, but on the Club Obi-Wan.
Cool. I've obviously been going on about my grey-haired Han. I've been trying to find people out there who have one. I found one person who has proven themselves that they've got one. And then Sam Smith. Sam Smith's moving offices. He's moving his office opposite mine. And he came in my door. He goes, "I got one." But his is all faded and battered and rubbish. But I was like, it doesn't count.
What has he done with his gray-haired Han?
3 in existence.
What has he been doing with that thing?
I don't know.
Is it just sitting on his shelf in the sunlight?
I think.
Does he have a window office?
Yeah, it's oddly enough that the side of the pack that is number 18 that is red. If you got it in a pristine pack, unsealed like mine, it's pristine red. His is all faded, but it's faded to grey, which is kind of cooler. So we should be grey. But that arguably could be my rarest Black Series figure ever.
And one you'll never open.
I will never open this. No, that one never gets open.
What is on your never open list that you have right now? What is on your never open list that you have in the collection right now?
I think it's just that. I've got a carded layer from 78, which I probably wouldn't open. but that's not because of sentimentality. That's because of value. That's the only one I think. Well, that's like $900. I'll leave that one alone. I think it's only this one. All the rest, I don't think I haven't got many other in pack. Oh, I've got a guy did me. I'm gonna forget the names. It's so embarrassing. Oh no, from AC Toy Customs. I apologize. I forgot your first name. I have so many people, but he did this little. It all ties together. Look
Perfect.
This hasn't been prearranged, folks. This is totally fluid.
I can tell you without a doubt, it has not been prearranged.
Yeah, he did a Nick Sant Kenner custom for me and sent it to me, and he spent the time to put an Ewok, hand-drawn Ewok on the back. What's that little baby called? Not Nippet. I can't remember what they're called. But
what's the sticker on it?
But anyway, AC Toy Customs. Check them out. So I will never open that because someone sent it to me as a piece. I'll never open that because that's in homage to my father, who died just before I joined the Star Wars team, and he would have been very happy that I got my dream job. So there we are.
Are there any other package things that you would buy and leave in package that are on your sort of to get list?
In package? No, not really.
Because I know you're still looking for the Asterix toys. You're still looking for the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. What is the stuff that's?
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings stuff. The sort
Lord of the Rings stuff. So if the Lord of the Rings stuff came packaged, would you open it? Like if one of those super rare, hard to find, but the only way you found it was in a package, would you open it?
Do I have to buy it in the package, or do I just get it in the package?
That was the only way you could get it, but it was affordable. It was within the range you were willing to get.
I would open it. I would open it. I would. I did that with the Warrior, with the Tron Warrior, because I loved Tron as a kid. I loved translucent figures, and I couldn't trust. You get the little discs and the glow in the dark discs, but the Warrior has the staff. And I was like, the discs I can tell if they're real or not. I said, but the staff is so. Anyone could extrude, or it could come from other things. I was like, I'm really not sure. It's got to be genuine, because I get all itchy about it. And I was like, I'll buy one in a pack. It was a knackered old pack. It still cost over $100, but it was like, I'm going to open it because I like to pose them out. So I think if Gandalf, the only way, and the other reason, sorry again, that I do buy packed stuff sometimes to open, because when I buy loose, I have to have them really pristine as I can find them. I want them just open. They're meant to be as if I'm a kid and I've just opened them. So Gandalf is very brittle and is paint flakes. So I can see myself buying a carded 1978 Knickerbocker Bakshi Lord of the Rings Gandalf. It's got to be a really knackered packet, and I'll open it. Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. This scenario, the packet's pristine. There's no scuffs on it. The plastic is crystal clear.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I will. I can't pack it. Yeah, I'd open it. I might open it like you open yours. I might be a little bit more delicate
because you're going to save it. So now here's the thing. You got to go. You got to go run to go get a pickup. You're going to be back in a few minutes, but I want you to think about this scenario and see if you stick with that answer, and let me know when you get back.
All right.
Steve's going to be back. Everyone that's watching, I'm going to keep going. So Steve, go off so you're not late.
I'm going to turn my mic off because we don't want a naked gun scenario. All right. I'll see you in a minute.
See you shortly. So everyone, Zach is going to Steve is going to be right back. You're not supposed to be listening right now.
Bye.
To my mistakes. Steve is going to be right back. If anyone has any questions in the chat, I'll start highlighting those. I'm going to keep opening some stuff. But yes, Steve will be back shortly. And shout out to Black Series Cantina. And you know what? We'll bring it back up when it comes back around. And yes, thank you, Mike. That very much. This was a gift from you and Black Series Cantina. Thank you very much for that. Why is this an easier face to swap out than that Endor Rebel Commando? You got angry comments from folks on that? Saying what? That it belongs in a museum kind of thing, Mike? Mike is never, Rob. talking to himself. It's just I'm super bad at highlighting comments while maintaining a conversation and opening things. It is very much a chewing bubble gum and patting my stomach and whatever the heck else. Just juggling. I'm not a good juggler. And yes, back to that the Marvel Retro. Yes, the card art is beautiful. I mean, I don't know. You can see how I open them. Definitely open them. They're great figures. But yeah, I mean, if you're super careful, you can preserve 99.9% of that artwork and keep it intact. You just got to be careful when you're opening it. I don't know if you saw. In fact, I'll show you. I mean, my technique. If you're just watching for the first time, my technique for trying to preserve the artwork as good as possible on these things. In fact, we'll do it with this that just arrived. Is usually on these there is an air bubble right here that's not connected via glue. So you can see you can get a little tool down in there between the bubble and the card. And then I just slowly make my way around the outside. So you're cutting that there, not all the way through to the inside, but you're just sort of marking a path all the way around carefully. And I use, as you see, a letter opener, not a razor blade or a knife, because I don't want to slip. So I just want something that's got a thin edge that'll get underneath things, but not actually, dice me. So then we did all the way around on the outside, go back into the bubble, and then slowly work your way out from the inside. Try not to rush. So slow, 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 boop. And that was what, less than a minute to open this thing, and there we go. I mean, this came out pretty good. I mean, sometimes, I slip up, rushing a little too much, but yeah, that is how I open up my carded figures to preserve the packaging. Yeah, so that's just take it slow. Again, just show you now that it's out. So yeah, just go in through the little pocket right there, work your way around on the outside. Again, you're only going in about that deep just to get your outside edge defined all the way around. And then when you come back in, go in the same, and then you slice from the inside. Ta-da! In fact, let me see what else I have to open. And oh yeah, thank you all for watching. Steve's going to be back shortly. Don't worry about that. He's going to pump back in when he gets back. But right now I'm going to keep on opening some things. Oh, I didn't actually finish opening the Cad Bane. Let's finish opening the Cad Bane. Also, how's everyone doing tonight? Oh, cheers, Eric. Thank you very much. I don't need a bespoke Ken Plume. What, like the handle? Yeah, I'll have the handle be in the shape of me as a little figural handle. By the way, I should remind everyone while we're doing this that there are links below in the description. If you want to support me via Patreon, there's an Amazon wish list. If you'd like to get anything off of there, I don't have monetization set up on the channel, so there's a tip jar if you want to do that. Show your support that way, or just like, subscribe, whatever you feel like. I do like the Cad Bane. My Hot Toys Cad Bane should hopefully be coming soon. So we can get some light on this. Did a nice job on this. Let's see if we can get a light out. Get a little more light on him. There we go. I'm one-handed trying to hold this thing while also holding a light. I certainly think the Book of Boba Fett design for Cad Bane has certainly grown on me since the show's premiere. I would not say that I wasn't one of those ones like, that looks kind of off from my remembrance of the design. You know, my love for that design in the Clone Wars series. I'm going to put these pistols in his holsters for now. I do have the black, I mean, this is really a shrunk down black series, right down to that sort of swoop of the overcoat back for drawing the pistol. This is the angry face, though, right? This is the one that's on the Target exclusive. In fact, let's pull the Target exclusive in. See if I can do it without this all falling apart. Because I did set up my Target exclusive in a fun way. The Got Your Hat picture, if anyone's seen that on my Instagram. I mean, it's nice to get a synchronicity of getting both the Black Series and the TVC versions of this Cad Bane at the same time. But yeah, it's essentially the same sculpt, it feels like. And it's good when they do that. When they nail a sculpt, by all means, use it as much as need be. No, I did on the Black Series. No, he's just pegged onto the stand. The Cad Bane is, and all it is the arm and friction that's holding Cobb Vanth on, and he's on there pretty darn good. Yeah, he's just Cad Bane's just standing on it. It's just perfectly balanced. But yeah, no black tack or blue tack or anything like that for it. Yeah. Now, which version do you think? Which Cad Bane, which head sculpt is going to be the one that gets that figure of the year for you, though? Oh, that is the stand. It's a 3D printed stand that I had. Do I have any of them loose? Where I don't have to pull them off of there to show you? I do not want. See if I have a figure that I can grab the stand from to show you. Well, Shazbot. I do not have any of those stands immediately handy to show you. Yeah, it's just a 3D printed stand, and it has two pegs on it. And I have one that is a smaller version of that, probably about a third smaller, that has one peg on it. Really, you're not going to get the standalone just for the extra head sculpt? Yeah, if anyone has a 3D printer, just a straight filament printer, there's a lot of amazing figure stands, like low profile ones like that. I know Landspeeder Luke has his hexagon stands, and the pedestals now you can put them on as well. There's a lot of options out there if you want ones that have logos on them. There's all kinds of stuff out there that you can find if you want to look around. That's free designs to download and print. A lot of options for figure stands. I'm sure there's always the potential for sales. Yeah, I was in Target yesterday and saw a bunch of the 2-packs on shelves. Although I'm assuming they still have not shipped a single one of the pre-orders for those yet. It seems the pre-orders on the on the Cad Bane set. I'm expecting that map room indie to be the same way as far as the Target pre-orders not coming in, and I'll just eventually hope to find it on a shelf. What else do I have ready to go? Let's see. I think we're going to get into a bit more vintage Star Wars stuff. What do I have in this? Let's see what I have in the. I think we'll open those next. What has everyone gotten new? Has anyone found any stuff in stores they're excited, want to talk about? Try and get him standing up. I mean, eventually all this stuff's going to get knocked over anyway. I don't know why I pre-order from Target anymore, other than just it feels like a psychologically like a safety blanket of, well, I've got it on pre-order, although I don't pre-order anything from them anymore expecting to get that pre-order. It's more just well, it's there, but I guess I'm still going to have to do constant checks of the local store and hope that things are there when I show up. And it's not just they got 4 of them in and they're gone and they're never coming back in store again, and also your pre-order's never coming. Yeah, I think it was your post, Mike, that said that you had found it in stores. Yours, or maybe it was Lance Peter Luke's, and that's when I called up my Target. And they said they had one, and I asked them to hold it, and I ran down there as fast as I could. Hey!
I'm back. Hang on, let me just put my...
Well, I hope you're safe and everyone's safe.
I drove with no shoes on.
You understand, I have a live stream I'm on.
God, I gotta start exercising more. I ran from the car. I'm wet all over my trousers, but I got a parcel, which is cool.
Oh, what is it?
What have you been doing?
We opened up the TVC Cad Bane.
Oh, apart from talking about Zach.
That came in, yeah. Hey, Zach's
cool.
wonderful.
Cad Bane, wicked.
I got that, and I showed off the posing I did for the Black Series.
I'm glad he came to TVC. I know everyone wants him.
The Got Your Hat posing I did for the Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane Black Series.
I do like Mr. Banks.
It's always fun when you find a sweet spot on displaying a figure in a pose where you don't have to do anything special for it.
Yeah,
because that Cobb Vanth is just hanging on.
Yeah.
There's nothing attaching him to him.
I know there's it sounds a bit strange to say, hey, there's a new trend in toy collecting, because it doesn't really sound like it's the type of community that would.
No, but I like the way you said it.
But balancing is like a new trend. Like balancing figures on top of each other is like a huge new trend, apparently.
I think it's just maybe the volume of figures, and everyone's looking for creative ways to stack them and maximize space.
Yeah. I've also noticed another trend, which is people taking photographs, not in like big, expansive kind of clever dioramas, but just holding them with a depth of field, so the background's all blurred. They usually do it in a kitchen, so it's very white. And just hold them. Yeah, and it's like something quite, I don't know, I quite like it. It's just very, as we would say in the art school, when I was at art school, it's called truth to the materials. It's just honest. You need a hand to pose it, and it's clearly I'm talking rubbish anyway.
Well, no, I haven't even seen that. Now I need to go look out for the handhold trend.
You got to. Can I open mine?
Yes. Because that is a lot of tape on that. Also, with the rain you're getting, it's good that there's a lot of tape on that.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's got fragile on it. Must be Italian, and it was shoved in my mailbox. It was like really shoved in.
So that sticker was thoroughly ignored, is what I'm.
Yeah, so I'd rather it have been wet than crumpled. But all right.
Do you have any notion of what might be in there?
Oh, I think I know what it is. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's not broken. But
it
I know
was
I
that
usually do my
pristine
fancy
Gandalf
videos. Huh?
It was that pristine Gandalf that you had.
Yeah, let's have a look at this. So, usually I do these really quick edits for my opening.
You do have some of the best produced.
I need
Instagram
your
reels.
setup. I haven't got your fancy setup. I have to sort of do it like cockeyed.
Please don't slice a finger open.
Say, no,
we do not need.
There's a little note inside that says you're the best, so they clearly know me. Thank you for your business. I hope you absolutely love him. Follow me for more old school comic stuff. If you're happy with my service, please review. Thanks. And they don't sign it. Okay. So
they thought you would know. I mean, with the connection you have.
All right. I'm going to give them this. It's nicely packed. It's got a little bit of. I'm fascinated when I get parcels from eBay. Again, this is slightly surreal and a little bit probably weird, but the smell of things from people's houses. Do you know what I mean? You got the smell of other
but also it's that
so
baked-in smell when you get them during the summer. Is it was it warm? Is it slightly warm as well? Because it's been you got a heat wave going on.
Yeah, it's weird. It smells like cereal, which is odd, but it does really smell like cereal.
Come on, be honest. Does everything smell like cereal to you now?
Yeah.
Is that just?
Yeah. Well, I have a very good sense of smell. 20 years ago, I had really bad sinus infection, and I had a septoplasty, which is where they go up your nose and they drill holes into your sinus cavities. So and now I smell now. I could. Oh my god, I'm like a bloodhound. But, oh my god, it's so small. All right, okay. Everyone's going, just open the bloody toy, Steve. What are you doing? Right. So this is something that I know nothing about, but it is something that the Legends crew have we've just released as a Legends figure, and they showed it to me. Well, a year ago when they were developing it, and I was like, I have no idea who that is. Who is that? It looks cool. It looks really old-fashioned. They went, oh, it's Crystar or Crystar. I don't know how to pronounce it. Crystar. And I was like, I like him. Who is it? Because I like translucent figures. And they were like, oh, it's an old thing from Marvel, like early 80s, blah, blah, blah. So I said, oh, cool. And I said, has there been figures before? He goes, yeah, back in the day. And I went, I want one of those. So I've got one. So I found a Crystar.
Oh.
And he is pristine. Oh my god. So now where do I put the rest of the stuff? Comes with all his bits.
How much of that is a leap of faith for you when you make a purchase? Because obviously that's an open, so you're depending on photos and the representation of the person you've gotten from. Yeah, so a lot of eBay is I spend a lot of time researching on eBay. You check out the photos, you ask for more. I'm that guy. Can you give me some photos, just this with the light behind it? And then you check out obviously their reviews and things. But got his shield all pristine. The color's pretty good actually. It's a really interesting color. And I've also got with it. This is the bit I'm most interested in. Yeah. How have they done that? His little helmet. Got his little helmet. So that fits on. I was wondering whether this was PVC or like ABS, but it's soft. So that fits on his helmet there. And then I've also got with it, which I can't get into. Any of you who know your Crystals or your old Remco 1982 action figures will know, well, it's going to come with his sword, Steve, and his weird little magic staff, which I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's a... Would that have been a harder plastic at the time for translucent? Oh, yeah, the magnifying glass.
It is a magnifying.
Or a prism. It's a prism.
Prism, like a kaleidoscope thing. Hey, Ken, there's loads. Now you look like the magic mirror in Snow White. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Now? Who's the most pristine action figure of all? Why, it's Crystar.
That must have been playing with those things out in the sun a little dicey.
Oh, his sword is soft as well. Because I noticed it was slightly bendy, but it's pretty good. It's a little bit bendy.
But that's the same material that the helmet's made out of?
Yes. So it's like a PO, mate. It's PVC. So you got a little bit of PVC, then you've got the ABS here. And then an ABS shield. And then Crystar himself. So I will look for nice photographs with nice lighting behind it But
I mean, it doesn't look like it's sun damaged or anything like that.
No, it's really good. His body is just like perfect color. The shield maybe it's got a little bit of yellowing, so it gets a bit more greener, but it's got that.
I mean, that's like glacial ice.
Yes, it's really good. I like the size as well. All right, so I've got that.
So how does that compare? That's basically the Marvel Retro, right? Isn't that basically the Retro Legends size?
No, it's a bit more. No, I'd say this is like, I want to say this is like 4.5 inches. Okay. All right, folks, let's do a measure.
I got to know if we can display those with our Marvel.
No, that's a 4.5 inch. 4.5. I'd say, if that's 375 with an X height. So yeah, it's 4.5, a bit bigger. And I've got all the comics. They did 11 comics, a series of 11 in 1983. Remco released that in 82. Marvel did the comics in 83, even though they were all developed at the same time. So I'm going to find out and read about him, and then I'll get the Marvel Legends one when I get the samples. I think we're just tweaking the color a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's maybe we can have a variant that is as crystal blue as that.
Yeah. So I'm happy with that. I'm really happy with that. I mean, it's not from my childhood because I don't remember it at all, but it's a translucent figure, and I love translucent figures. I was a big sucker for Mail Away Obi-Wan. Remember that? Force Ghost, 1997, I want to say, Power of the Force. I remember getting
97 or was it 96? It was like the first Mail Away, wasn't it?
It was.
So the line came back in 95. Because that was the first, and then the second Mail Away was the Han Stormtrooper, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say 97 because England was always behind. I was in the UK then.
I remember missing out on the Han Stormtrooper.
Oh yeah.
And I wrote to it was what General Mills was it the General Mills cereal? No, Nabisco. No, it was General Mills.
I don't know.
I know Fruit Loops. They were packages of Fruit Loops.
Oh, that's General Mills.
So I wrote to them, and I said, I missed out on this. Is there any way? Do you have anything you can send Kellogg's? Anything you can send me for it? Or anything like that? So I have from 1997, let's say, color photocopies that Kellogg sent me of the boxes for Fruit Loops, but it was of the box designs. So it's got all of the print registration and color registration on it.
They didn't want to send you the originals.
Didn't send me the originals, or having a figure, have it for Fenn. But I do have those.
Well, that's a better story because you could pick up that medal.
Oh yeah, now you can. At the time though, it was sort of a, well, thanks.
That was a slap in the face.
It almost seemed like a joke they were playing on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I should pull those out now that I know it's a Fruit Loops box.
I got some Weetabix, so I love Weetabix. You don't get that. I get it over here, but you don't. That's an England thing. But Jurassic Park in '93 you would buy a Weetabix box and have little cards inside. I'll get these. I'm making such a mess on my floor. So you get your Weetabix box, and you'd have the Jurassic Park background, and you would get these little cards that would have like a picture on the back, and you could fold them, make them stand up. Actually, no, these were stick. Yeah, they used to stand up. Yeah, and you used to get one in the pack, but you'd have to buy loads of packs. So I wrote to Weetabix, and I pretended to be Stephanie Evans, mother of 3. And I bought 3 of these boxes, these little 12 boxes for my children, because each one of them wanted a Jurassic Park card, and there was none in any of them. Here's the batch number. I'm sure you've got a batch problem. I just wanted to let you know. Highly disappointed. Hopefully, we'll buy some more soon. And they sent me like a stack of these things.
Do you still have that stack?
I just remember my mum just looking at me, and she goes, "What have you got there?" And I told her the story. She was just like, "You're such an idiot." What's wrong with you,
or my son, the Incredible Con Man.
Yeah. So anyway.
So do you still have them? What happened to them?
No, I sold those. I gave them away or something. I've rebought some of them. I haven't got all of them, but just most of the stuff in my cabinet I buy just for like little stories like that. Like tell my kids, and they just look bored and walk off. But sometimes when I meet someone like you, Ken, there's a vague air of interest.
Listen, coming from my color photocopies of Fruit Loops boxes, yes, I appreciate that story immensely. The things we do to try and get the things we've missed.
It's crazy. It is crazy what we do.
I do want to talk customs a little bit with you.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to show. I haven't shown this off on stream yet to anyone. I certainly have shared pictures, but now that we're on stream, the first custom, because I normally wasn't a person who wanted to tinker with my figures.
Yeah.
So I'm very much I have to get a second one if I'm going to mess around because I don't want to ruin the original one.
Yeah.
So this was my original one.
Yep.
Of the retro thing.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That you all put out. But I wanted to get something that was a little closer to the comics appearance. So I thought, and then I saw all these videos from Lance Peter Luke about, washes. Washes are your friend.
Oh,
try a wash.
Easy to do.
So this is what I started with.
Yeah.
This is my original. And this.
Wow, look at that definition.
Is what I finished with, and also repainted to the original Byrne black and white trunks.
There you go. That's cool. I mean, it is very small on my phone screen, but I can see the definition. Now, the danger I find with washes is that, like most things, when you're artistic, you or when you're doing something artistic, you go too far. You do too much.
So
you
I
do
did.
Too much,
so what I found was the technique. So I do the wash, and then I had the little alcohol pads.
Yeah.
And I would knock it back on all of the raised areas, so it was just sitting down.
Yeah, that's good. The alcohol pad's a good idea because then it gets everything. It just doesn't sort of move it around. Sometimes I do it with like a bit of kitchen roll. I don't know what you call it over here. Kitchen towel.
Yeah, because it's not soup. Yeah, the good thing about
it just moves it, and I'm like, oh, that's still.
Yeah, the good thing about the alcohol, the prep pads, is that they have an absorbency to them as well because they're more of a cloth than a paper towel kind of thing.
And you get
so it instantly starts soaking up the excess and knocking it back. So that was my first test, and then I had to go on from there. So I took the let's see, I have a packaged one.
Yeah.
Got the Invisible Woman that you all did, and decided, well, I have to finish out the black outfits now.
So
and also did a head swap.
Did you paint or spray?
I painted.
You're a brave man, Charlie Brown. Flipping heck.
How
does it look? You got you tell me, I can't see that.
So I don't have I don't have painter's hands. I don't have the steadiest hands. Like I get nervous, I get in my head about it. So having to define the circle in black paint around the 4 was not fun.
Yeah, that's
and then obviously, so this is of the Walgreens Sue Storm head on there with yellow highlights on it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sort of bring that out, and also sort of expanding.
You got to start somewhere. I started painting it. It was just, I just used to get annoyed with the brush marks because I would do it smaller. I'm on like 3/7. I'd do on Star Wars figures, and I'd be like, I hate this, hate it. And I was like, okay, I'll get an airbrush thing. So I bought like a cheap-ish airbrush setup, and I was like, oh my god, it's like perfect. I loved it. But then the airbrush gets clogged, and I'm probably not as good as I should be in cleaning it, and it just goes.
And I worry about overspray. Oh yeah, the point where you go out of line, and suddenly you got that blotch there. You're like, oh, now I gotta.
So every custom I do, I love, and you tell me how you feel when you do yours. I love doing it. I'm excited to do it. I love doing it. I hate it. Then I love it because I finished it, and I look at it, and then I'm really proud of that. Then the next day. It's awful. It just looks rubbish. I'm like, that's rubbish.
Oh, you notice the part where I didn't quite paint that, or that line is a little jagged.
There's something. But that's the same in everything. Everything. I think that's just human nature. That's
but also,
why we evolve.
Store-bought toy is going to have tiny little imperfections that come from the factory.
Yeah, it's made by people.
So
people are flawed.
So I have to understand that. Oh, when I'm looking at it, it's at a distance on a shelf. I'm not looking at it like with a magnifying glass all the time, actively looking for.
But here's a question for you, Ken. Have you sealed it with like a lacquer or a varnish, or have you left it?
No, I sealed it after I was all done.
So how did that work for you? Because I have like I'm
not taking it in the bathtub with me, so I'm not actively trying to.
Is it Vallejo? Vallejo? looking for it,
only
and
use
I
this.
paint it on, but it never dries. It
Well,
stays tacky forever.
Well, no, the Mr. Super Clear, and again, shout out to Lance Peter Luke on this, because he's been knocking down when there's been too much gloss on the figures. So it's a flat.
What do you mean?
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what I'm talking about either.
Dare you?
Sometimes it looks like you've been working out. You know, they fighting is a sweaty thing. This dries super fast, like basically within 5 minutes.
What's it called?
This is Mr. Super Clean.
Mr. Super Clean.
So this is like a Japanese hobby.
Okay.
So they have a gloss, they have a semi-gloss, they have the flat, which is I got the flat.
I'm gonna try that because I need something. I need something that protects it and bloody dries.
Yeah. So no, this is super dry. It's not like before I did the seal. If I would rub against it, all the wash would still be coming off on my fingers. No, this is super dry.
Cool.
When
I try and do a custom, I always try and do something that involves a method that I haven't done before. So you're always learning and always screwing it up, but failure is the best teacher in my mind. Thank you, Yoda, for that. So like, I like that. I like going, I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to muck it up, but I'm going to learn something and it'll make it better. And eventually maybe we'll do a perfect one. I don't know whether we.
But I got cocky with these, and not realizing that this is a larger scale, so this is easier to deal with.
Yeah.
So then I was like, look how good he looks as far as giving a different version of what if I took this, and tried to do this, and when I did him, I got this.
It looks all right. Is he a bit sploogey? Is he a bit spludgy?
Now he's pretty well defined. Now what I will also do, I'll take the blue tack and put it over the eyes before I do the wash.
Yeah.
So the eyes are protected on these.
Yeah.
Anytime.
I mean, it doesn't look retro anymore, but I guess.
And I did repaint the to give it the classic blue and black. So
I did. Where is that one? I did.
But what's great is I still have the retro. I didn't ruin my original. Yeah. Is also the big.
I did a Rebel Hoth like that as well. It's my first ever wash that I did, and I overdid it too. Well, I'm not saying you overdid yours, Ken, but I overdid mine. I kind of did it, and it's
so easy to overdo it.
And I put a little snow wash, and I did it, and I was so pleased with myself. I was like, that looks amazing! Oh my god, all the detail! And I put it on the shelf with all my other Star Wars figures, and I was like, it looks stupid.
Yeah. What is he fighting on Min Min?
That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Just look rubbish. And that's what I found. He's still tacky. He's still tacky in the arms.
Using the alcohol swabs again.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that.
Because the thing was a mess until I knocked him down. It has that thing where it just looks like runny paint.
Yeah. The next thing I've got to paint, which is I keep putting off. I have these English lollipop sticks, as we call them, popsicle sticks,
which are
from
brilliant.
From 1979. Just a genius idea, whoever came up with that idea. But you can paint them. So I've prepped it to paint, but that is going to be really difficult to paint. It's almost like miniature figures, but because it's all flat relief.
Now, do you use like a magnifier or anything when you're doing it?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I've never painted one, so I've got a complete set of just in white. But I've got another one just to paint this one, just to see what it's like.
Now, have you tried casting molds from those?
I haven't actually from those. That's a good point. I could have just done that one. I could have saved myself $30.
You've been casting molds on other things. Why haven't you? And those seem like they're pretty good because they're flat as opposed to...
What an idiot.
You still can if you want to do a couple of test cases.
Such an idiot. Yeah, anyway. I'm so rich, I just buy them again.
I'm not going to say anything. So then I had to finish the 4, so...
What a doofus. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's. I mean, again, the figures are great.
I'd like to do a little. Clearly, I'd like to do a little multi-pack someday of just like repaints, like an Invisible Sue and the black and the red, the black and the blue, and like.
What's great is you never have to touch the Human Torch. He can just stay the.
Yeah.
And you got your translucent figure.
Yeah.
But this is the one where I got cocky and shot myself in the foot with because I did the outline around the circle,
Yeah.
so you can sort of there you go.
Oh, it's tough. You should do like you should like paint a white and then get a water slide and just do it graphically. Just slide it on.
So what I did, I used a thin point Sharpie, because I also did the dimensionality on the 4, so there's the drop shadow on it. Listen, I got in the weeds on this. I admit that. But I'm done. I'm done. You know what? It's good that you stopped the line for now, just so I would stop doing this. Because there's the last one I did.
Oh, well, that's a cool one. That's worth doing. There's a guy on Facebook, and I forget his name. I'm not that I can remember everybody's name, but he is there's some people like Josh Izzo, who does some customs, and there's another guy, Matt Kofenberg, I think Matt does a load of, and they do really nicely. Some of them are digital, but most of them are, and they're brief. There's one guy, I can't remember his name, and I won't embarrass him because I don't want to embarrass him because he's got the worst camera in the world. He takes a photograph of him, and it's always the background that's in focus. But he must have done, I kid you not, 200 customs, like not brilliantly painted or anything like that, but just the fact that he does it, he picks out the most random
and enjoys
characters. Yeah, he does it all the time. It's just like he's prolific.
I'm gonna
very impressed with him.
Put the little successor line right there.
Cool. It's not the successor line, Ken.
Well, you know what? We'll see if this unpauses. We'll see if it unpauses, Steve.
Literally, there was no correlation between that decision. I promise you, because like, let me tell you something. To stop a line or to pause a line doesn't take as long as to make a line. So we were already making those other ones before we decided to pause the other line. So everyone goes, "Oh, it's replaced by this." I'm like, it's not. It's completely two different. One's like a fan channel, the other one's the main.
Well, it's when you look at your graphic for it, it's astounding how many figures you were able to put out in what doesn't seem like a long amount of time.
Yeah, it's like I think we hit 50. Was it 50 or 48? There was something weird. I count my prototypes as extra ones. My Power Man original gold.
Have you already hidden the ones that didn't make it into production?
I can't comment on that. I did. I will tell you something. Like all the work we did on some stuff that didn't come out, I've made sure we keep it in little photocopies, like your my
Fruit Loops boxes.
Yeah. One day we'll either get to do them, or we'll talk about them a little bit more, because it's not like it's IP sensitive. It's just
rather than current lines you're on, if you look back on the lines you worked on over the years in the past that are far enough distant that you can talk about it, what are things that you know existed, were ready to go, that just never got produced, that you wish had made it to market?
It's too near. I can't talk to you about that. I'm sorry. It's not far away enough, because I only worked on Star Wars. I'm not a product designer.
No, but you've worked with other lines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you knew that these things were going to be, that they were the potential, they were there. They could have been made, and they didn't get made.
I'm really drawing a...
Anything from Action Man?
So long ago, I can't remember. I really can't remember. You got me on that one. There's some things in the Star Wars line that we were really close. That I can't. We're
putting a pin in it. So in the future,
put a pin in it. When I retire and I get permission,
you're gonna have incredible panels at conventions across the world where you're sitting down.
People pay $30 for a signed photo.
Yeah. It's gonna cost the official Let Steve Breathe panel.
Yeah.
Where he just
exhale to be fair, there's lots of stuff that we nearly get close to and then it doesn't happen. Like the amount of it's the same in the toy industry. I'm sure it's the same in the car industry and every other industry. You know, you get close to some things, and it just like Luke Cage.
Yeah, that just got released in the final wave was the Luke Cage.
I got two of them. I got one that is. Thank you, Eric, for sidelining that conversation very deftly.
Well, I mean, I did call up his comments. I enabled the sidelining.
I got like a. Now, which is I think this is the one that came out. He was more gold, or was he more yellow? You tell me. Have you got Power Man?
I do have Power Man.
Which one is it? I can never remember. Like
I think he's not the gold.
Yeah, I think he's yellow.
I think he's the yellow.
I should.
The gold more looks is the gold. Is that gold plastic or is that paint
That's
to get the gold effect? So that's like the swirly, twirly sort of.
Well, one's a gold color and one's a yellow color. So like we changed that. So I've got like a couple of those, and I can't for the life of me remember which one, which is terrible. I've got the box.
One of them looks sort of like in the sort of carbonized kind of look, like you did with the stealth suit.
It's nothing like the carbonized thing. And then I've got and then the Ghost Rider. I can't get it out. The Ghost Rider bike had deco changes, so I've got a few little things. I loved it. Yeah, I did. That was a good line. It was fun. That was fun.
I'm sad we only got one vehicle out of it.
Yeah.
Listen, I know nothing. I know when I said that, I know nothing. Not like I'm setting you up for anything.
It's all right. It's all right.
I know nothing.
That's why I love this. That's why I love this.
I look forward to
this industry. This industry is so good because, like, you think everything comes out and you think everything's super simple, and it's like, well, they made a decision, they put it out, and blah 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 blah. And then you read things like, what's that book called? Toys That Time Forgot by Blake. Is it Blake Wright? Yeah, by Blake Wright. I don't know if you've seen that book. Of all the toy lines that didn't get made or ended and didn't, and all the sort of prototypes that didn't get out and things like, Sesame Street from Palisades. Yeah. Palisades. A lot of the
that and their Fraggle Rock line.
Dark Crystals and that's weird Fleas from Mattel and just odd sectors and just it's fascinating. It's amazing what doesn't get made.
So flipping through that book, what would you pull out and make if you had your druthers and you could have it in your shelf behind you?
I would like to have done. I like Dark Crystal. I thought that was cool. My cousin was a puppeteer on Dark Crystal. Age of Resistance. Was it Age of Resistance? Yeah, the latest Dark Crystal one that was on Netflix. He was a puppeteer in that. So I like Dark Crystal. So there was some stuff from there that didn't get made. Until Super 7 did it.
Do you want a Jen and Kira or just a Skeksis? If you had to pick one to represent that, what would you want on your shelf?
Oh, the Mystic. The Mystics are my favorite. I like that design. But I didn't like Jen. I like Kira better. Jen wouldn't. For some reason, Jen annoyed me.
I'm gonna go back and open something while we're talking because I forgot I should be opening things. And it's a bounty collection, which are designed by a pal of mine, Amy Memberson. Cool. So shout out to Amy on these designs. I hadn't actually picked one up prior to this. What pal?
Well, we've just released. I think it was at San Diego. I'll be shot if it wasn't. Now I gotta.
You want to go look it up?
No. Yeah. I think it was at San Diego. How the hell am I going to find that? Oh, my photos aren't there, is it? Oh, I thought someone just texted me. No, it's fine. Anyway, open your bounty collection.
Is the chip going off in your head right now? Do they?
Yeah. Where is it? No, I can't do a walkthrough. Where is
it? Someone brought up earlier, and I wanted to bring up because it was a conversation that I was having with someone, and I don't. Curious if you have thoughts on it, and if you don't, no worries. But we're talking about HasLabs.
Yeah, and I always have thoughts on HasLabs
and how amazing HasLabs are. But also, it's not FOMO because it's past FOMO when you miss out on a HasLab or you didn't know they existed until later.
Yeah.
On the notion of re-releasing a thing that was HasLabbed. So my thoughts on it, and I'll put up my thoughts.
Yeah, go on.
My thoughts are on it that when something so brilliant is created and wonderful like that I can see the idea of preserving the edition that came out specific to the HasLab, like the exclusives, the figures, all those things that were the special things. But the idea of never having something as wonderful as the sail barge itself never be available again, or only be available to people who can afford $4,000 on a sail barge in the aftermarket for a thing, seems like weird when it's designed. It could exist again.
Yeah.
In a way where you go, hey, you know what? Here's HasLab Mark II. We're reoffering the sail barge. It still has to reach a threshold to make it happen. So there's no, Hasbro's not out of pocket in the idea. If it doesn't reach like 10,000 backers, Mark II is not happening. But it's not going to be the same edition. So if you got that first version, those figures you got are still exclusive. Maybe the book you got still exclusive. The figures like you got with the Razor Crest, or the figures that came with Galactus, still exclusive to it. But hey, here's Mark II for the people that missed out, because why only give the aftermarket all of that?
No, I know. Listen,
and it's such a limited thing.
I get splinters up my backside because I'm sitting on the fence so much on this.
Because I can understand the idea of preserving I was there kind of T-shirt mentality of a moment in time, but for the actual thing itself, like I can understand this is branded to that moment in time, but not the like. Hey, also as a collector and a fan, I'm like, I want other people to have a thing.
I know we would definitely have to find a way. Listen, I can never say never because it's actually out of my control.
No, and I'm just putting out.
I mean, I was.
This is the debate I'm having with friends.
I was at the beginning. I claim that Jonah Navaji and myself kind of came up with the concept of HasLab. We went, hey, we can do it. And we went off and people worked out how to do it. I didn't have anything to do with it, but it was just like, why can't we just crowdfund? Come on, we've got to do it. And so the set of principles kind of came. I was involved in that, and that one of the principles was if it's done, and that's the number, because that's the integrity and the kudos of being part of this movement that is HasLab, which makes it so special. Which is, when the barge came out, it funded on day 42 or something like that. It was a roller coaster, none of this 24-hour, 48-hour crap. It was like, oh my God, this might not work. My job's gone if this doesn't work. But so it is like a little community, and the principle was always like, when it's done, because we can't go back on it. Because we were saying this is a special one-off thing. If the people that stump up and put themselves out there, they're the ones that get it, and it creates this little kind of, you could argue elitist, but it's not. It's like everyone has a chance of doing it.
But the economics of scale and price are still not going to be. This is still not going to Walmart. This is still not going to Target. It's still not going to a box store. Because it's too big. It's never going to be stocked in a store regardless.
Oh, no. But I hear you I hear you, especially when it like hits secondary market, because that's my other side. Like I like it when we can bring things that are hitting high secondary market prices. That's why we brought in the archive for Black Series. We were like, okay, let's get, what was one of our first archives? Can't remember now, so long ago. But it was like, well, that's hitting, Cody, or Commander Cody's hitting a high price. All right, we bring out an archive. It stops people having to spend a lot for that figure online. So we do that all the time. But HasLabs, I don't know, it just feels different. And it's, so I have my own opinion, but it's just a personal one. I think it's okay to bring it back if it's different. I personally don't think it's enough just to not have the figures and things. I think it's got to be like a redeco or a special edition. But I don't know what that is for like the barge.
It's missing one of the sails.
You can blow this one up. You can blow the Razor Crest up and have people. I don't know. I'm not trying to be flippant because it's.
But that's hard. The thing with like as a collector, like if I like the idea that if it's a thing, because also in the age we grew up with, when you would walk into a toy store and the entire Star Wars line was on the wall.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the film that was out. You could get characters from A New Hope, which wasn't A New Hope at the time. You could get characters from Empire. You could get the lines stayed available throughout the life of the lines generally.
Yeah.
And the idea that sort of putting that behind, well, if you weren't there in this 42-day moment in time and had the finances to get it together in that time, you'll never have a chance again. Because then it just feels like it's, for me, it's that then I feel crappy as a collector if I went and go, well, I got a Galactus, but you'll never get a Galactus. Because that's like, you want people, because they're fun. It's amazing the work you all did, and sort of also keep that behind this curtain of unavailability, because you all put in amazing work on realizing these things. To think like, if the original designers on the Kenner line, like if Mark was there in the 70s designing the Falcon, but you know what? The original Falcon was only available as a HasLab, unless you got it in the first 42 days.
So here's a question. Did they release your, I don't know whether they did, they probably did, I can't remember. Did they release your mail away Han in a blister? Did they release the
most of them
Force Ghost?
Yeah, they did. They did the 3-pack. They did the 3-pack of Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin as one of their cinema scenes.
Well, you got me. All I can comment on is my own personal opinion on it. It's a little bit torn. I'm a little bit Switzerland. I'm kind of like, I get it, but I also like the principle of the original. But if I don't know whether it will or will not happen.
No. Of course, I'm not. And I couldn't tell you asking that.
But it's a good pub conversation to have. That's for certain.
And I hope those conversations are going on in the future, because again, none of these things are realized until they are anyway. Like the Ghost is a question mark as far as those figures. No one knows what's going to happen with the stretch goals at this point.
Yeah,
we're hopeful. We'll see what happens.
I reckon it will.
I
think it's got momentum.
But that, looking at that Sentinel behind you, looming behind you, is incredible. Was I there for that? No, I didn't get the Sentinel. The Sentinel made me go, I should get a Galactus. But I'll tell everyone listening, I didn't get a Galactus during the actual campaign.
Didn't you? Why not? Well, you'd have to tell me why.
I was honestly, I was not aware that the campaign was going on.
I thought you were going to say I was on my hospital deathbed. And I'm like, no. I was like,
I can't believe you're bringing this up, Steve.
I'm like, thanks. Thanks, Steve, you heartless git.
it was one of those things I was not aware of the campaign during, but I was eminently aware of it in the build-up when people started getting them and doing their reviews and going, this thing is amazing.
We've got to do a better job of that as well. I got to
look
do a
at
better
this
job of getting people to know when these things are coming.
I mean, and that's the thing that, particularly as social media becomes more and more fragmented, and you don't know where people are or what people see and where people are, it is harder to get the word out about these things, and how much of it is word of mouth and how much of it has to be pushed externally. But for me, the biggest part of these things, honestly, are the hands-on. Like I loved, my pal Norm at Tested doing the that overview of the Ghost. If no one has seen it yet from Comic-Con, Tested just put up a video of the Ghost where you can actually see more of the hands-on scale of things. Like, I want to see someone playing with that Galactus and having their figures sort of fight it and give a sense of scale and fun on the thing, which is obviously hard to do when you guys are dealing with prototypes. And you're gingerly
like my hand. I am known for breaking prototypes. Terrible. I always think I'm really delicate and like very nimble, but it's like, give it to Steve and it's like, oh, is that meant to break? Is that meant to do that? And they're like, no.
Yeah. So it's the hands-on fun. So luckily I, my local comic book shop, they had gotten another one in, and were very kind about.
Let's see what the future holds. Who knows? The fact that people feel passionate about it and have an opinion either way is good, in my opinion. It's a topic of conversation. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what's what.
Mike, I saw your question. I agree with you.
I'm not getting into that conversation. Again, maybe I don't know.
It's also you all can't plan for what's happening in the world at any given moment. You're hoping for the best when any of these campaigns launch.
Yeah.
So, and you have no idea generally what other companies are doing and launching around the same time, at the same time.
We don't know who's doing what. Sometimes we don't know what's going to hit the screens. It's
that poor Razor Crest hitting when
kaboom. But no, I will be honest, it's fun. It's fun to do. I like the HasLab just because it is a journey, and you never quite know where it's going to work. And it's like when we started it, we're like, we got to be ready for some not to work, because like they're not all going to work.
Was a part of your brain thinking, in years in the future, I'm going to be talking about this prototype sail barge that we did for this HasLab that never happened, and how incredible that thing would have been?
Oh, yes, I did think that on day 41. I was like, oh my goodness, please, please, please. And we had the one thing I am sad about that I didn't keep, and I don't know who's got it. We did a really, there's a video of it because the videos I don't know, well, you don't remember, you didn't know about it. I made a video each and every month of like them making it and doing the tools and stuff. And there was this one little review we had where someone printed out a sort of a 10-inch version of that cut away, just to put color in, just say, well, this is the brown we're going to use, this is the orange we're going to use on the sail, this is the silver we're going to use for all the metal. And they just painted it up, and it was like a little diddy one cut in half. And I videoed it being turned, and it was like a test swab, a test swatch for the colors. I don't know where that's gone. I wanted that. At the end of it, I was like, when I left the team, I was like, can I get that little barge thing? Because I'm like the granddaddy of the barge. And they were like, I don't know where it is. So
they know where it is.
But it's a good story. It's a good story when it's out there. And if it succeeds, fantastic. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. And the fact that we just filled 18 minutes talking about it it's interesting. It's good. It's what makes toy industry and toy collecting and pop culture interesting, because they're little stories. And I'll be banging on about that blooming thing when I'm 80. I'm sure I'll be boring my grandchildren. I remember in 2016.
I mean, now that you've been part of these teams and doing this for as long as you have been involved in these projects, that now you're sort of reaching that point where you do have tales to tell.
Oh, it's exactly.
Yeah, no.
I have to retire.
Oh, this is how we were going to spring it on you.
Yeah.
Did you know that? But are you feeling that sort of sense of a legacy and sort of a legacy you can impart on others?
That's a very interesting question. Yes and no. Some days I feel very wise and very knowledgeable, and like if I do lecture tours around. I do lectures at a university down in Pennsylvania, the East Stroudsburg University, and I talk about toy industry. I talk about innovation, creativity, and failure, and how important it is to fail. And so when I do things like that, I feel very wise, very Obi-Wan Kenobi, very hello there, and I feel really good. And then I come and do something at work, and I bodge something up, or I screw something up, and I'm like, oh, I haven't learned.
Break a prototype.
I broke a prototype, or I made a mistake on that. I shouldn't have judged it that way. We should have done it the other way. And you're still learning, and that in turn I like, because it's like I'm 50. I don't want to cruise for another 20 years before I retire. And I'm going to 70. I think we all will by that time. But
what is your definition, knowing what the job is? What is your definition of cruising? What do you feel would be where the excitement's gone?
Easy stuff and not taking any risks and not trying to be brave and fail. I tell you, there are a number of projects that failed that I could quite easily sit for hours and talk about, and I'm not going to, but not now anyway. But that's important. You have to fail bravely. You have to. So like when the HasLab thing is like, I don't know whether it's going to work. Who knows? And it's like, well, there's a lot of money we're putting on this, and a lot of time and people's efforts, and it better work. I was like, well, I can't promise that, but we had leadership in those days that were very. He used to tell me, fail bravely, fail fast, and fail bravely. So it was like, all right, we'll just do it. So to answer your question, yes, sometimes I feel very wise. And when I talk to my kids, I try and impart my knowledge on them. And they sometimes go, that's really interesting, Dad. Thank you. And then other times I flounder around like an idiot. But that encourages me, because that means you've still got loads to learn, Steve. So the next 20 years of your working career will be full of learning and knowledge, and you'll get better because that's all we can do is just try and get better at anything, whatever we do. I always tell my kids, and I encourage everyone, you know, I hope everyone does a job that they love. Not everyone does, but if you can do that, then I want to keep learning. I want to keep screwing up. So failure is important to me. So I promise you, everyone, I will fail brilliantly for you all. You will hate me, and then there'll be products that come out that you will just go, what an idiot. What's that? But there you go.
No one ever does that on the internet. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they do. And they should do.
Speaking of reaching for an interesting permutation, this I'm fascinated by this princess collection that they did in the late 90s, which was taking the figures that were already available in the line and then just adding soft goods
Badly
in place.
Soft goods.
I mean, that Luke, that
tough.
poor Luke.
Mark Hamill, I love him. For some reason, he's a really difficult portrait to get right. Like, really difficult.
I mean,
really hard. The ones I did when I was in Star Wars was just like, I'm like, why is it so difficult?
I mean, and any company. I mean, Hot Toys
has. It's just the way he looks. Just something about his features that.
So, what are your feelings on soft goods on a figure? Are you a soft goods person, or are you a?
I like them. I like them, but the 90% of soft goods don't look good, in my opinion, because you don't get the weight. You can't
the draping.
You can't get the draping. You can't get the weight. You can't get the weave and the weft to be tight enough to fall. So it's, you know, but sometimes it works.
Like, isn't that does that new Hawkeye have soft goods? The one that's on the
I don't think
the jet
on
bike?
The Sky. I don't think so. I don't think so. But
like this, I think her dress.
She looks good. Yeah,
works. Jackets on this scale are nearly.
It's tough.
I'm trying to think on
there's
the Black
a lot
series.
more. There's a lot more technology around now where you can get really small stitching and stuff like that, which helps. But
like on the early Black series stuff.
Don't get me wrong. I like soft goods. Like, I like capes, and I like, you know, I like. You look at the old. You know, the old stuff.
Oh, with his clip neck.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad but charming, so I kind of like it. But I think the team did a good job on Marion's dress and the retro. That was good, actually. The original Ken and Marion Ravenwood dress. That was where is she? That was really good. Oh God, I'm gonna knock her over. No, I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna knock over those snakes. So yeah, good and bad, like anything.
Get these out. Yeah, that's not working. Well, it's just poor Han.
But they're charming now. You look at them and you go, yeah, remember? There's a charm. I quite like.
I mean, Harrison Ford probably second on the list of get it but not quite there sculpts for the most part.
I think we got him eventually. But he has that weird face, doesn't he? He smiles and frowns at the same time. You've seen that thing where you kind of take half his face and flip it, mirror it, and take the other half. You've got one smiling and one frowning. So he's got a very unusual portrait.
It's like he's intentionally throwing off anyone attempting to do anything. But yeah, that coat just like he's in his dad's coat. But the Leia does come off a lot better.
I think our eyes and brains are probably enticed by lace. Marion's is obviously all lace, and it's still manufactured, but you look at it and go, oh, look at the artistry, it's lace.
They really worked harder in this. And then I have this to open, which I have never opened. Packing in diorama pieces.
Yeah.
Also seems to be a lost sort of.
Yeah, I'm personally interested in that. It's play sets are always. I love play sets, and kids love play sets to play because that's how they build their worlds. And sometimes it's a little difficult to get kind of play sets out or for the right price. But like I call these vignettes or contraptions. You know, the sort of idea of a figure with a vignette or a series of accessories and stuff. So,
yeah, that Attack of the Clones line was really big on having little set pieces, and
I like them. Personally, I like them. I like the idea of that. I'd like to play around with that a little bit more.
But you're doing some of that with some of the Marvel Deluxe sets, that are coming out. Certainly, I like the movement with that Hawkeye of having, pairing it with a vehicle, because that's, I mean, the Marvel line just in general has never really gotten any sort of outside of the figure play sets or
don't you bring me back to HasLab again.
I wasn't. I just realized you saying that I was, but I wasn't intending it.
Yeah. The little, I like that too. And we're doing more of those.
Not that it's a line that is easily conducive to doing that.
No, it's not a vehicle line for sure. Whereas Star Wars is, we had some really good stuff on Black Series, whether it was Enfys Nest Speeder or speeder bikes and stuff, and land speeders, the land speed.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're thinking iconic on the Marvel side, you're getting. Oh, were you there?
Yeah, I can.
Well, your camera just went off.
I've frozen.
Oh, is it an iPhone issue?
I don't think so. I can see you moving, but I can't see me moving. I'm going to turn my cam off. Turn it on again. No. You can hear me, right?
I can hear you.
Your browser has lost connection to your camera. Make sure no other apps you are using your camera. No, I'm not. There we go. There we are. We're back.
There we go.
Back in the room.
Now I'm wondering. I wouldn't be able to see it. Anyone who has the barge, let me know how this compares to the one that's on the barge.
I'll rip it off right now. Oh, maybe I won't. Come on, baby. Out you go.
Please don't break your sign barge.
There we go. I'm going to have a suspicion that yours is bigger.
Getting a little bit of echo on your...
Oh, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing.
It's hearing my audio back on yours. I wonder... Let me try. I'm going to bring you back in. Now, echo's still there. I'm going to bring me back in. You're going to be alone for a second.
That's all right. Now that he's gone, everybody, I just want to let you know that I don't like him at all. He's pompous, isn't he? Terrible.
I still heard everything. I think try turning down the volume on your camera, on your phone a little bit.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Your microphone was, I think, is picking up the.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Is it okay like that?
A little bit better. We'll deal with it for a little bit. Won't be talking.
All right, I'll listen really closely to you.
So let's compare it.
I don't know how big your hands are. Where's get a 3.75 figure? Well, obviously you got one that came with it, so I'll get another one. Height.
And Leia's on the short side.
Yeah, true. Length of barrel. What are we doing?
So it's about one figure tall for the barrel length?
Yeah. Seems about.
Although this is with the action
Hang on a minute. Am I being stupid? Did we scan this? No, we did not.
No,
I thought for a minute there, I thought, did we just scan the 90s one for this? But no, we didn't. There was a conversation about this. Maybe we did start it off from there. I have a feeling we might have done. I have a feeling we might have scanned that and then tweaked it. Used that as like a base starting point.
Yeah, because certainly you have a lot more sculpting definition on the centerpiece here on yours, whereas this is sort of a...
Yeah, it's different at the top, isn't it? Anyway, seems to be about the same size.
Pegs on the foot pedal?
Yep.
Just a much better paint job.
Yeah. There we go.
Well, I guess I get my washout.
Look at that. I gotta get it back on.
Well, as long as you just don't break it. Just don't break it. Also, I don't appreciate Mike's comment about your interlude.
Do what? I always speak the truth, no matter what anyone says. People say, Evans, he's full of rubbish. Like,
Also,
no,
I just remembered,
not really. I don't really do that.
Your Star Wars Black Series line was the last one that had Leia release. The Huttslayer release in the original Black Series.
Well named, thank you.
I mean,
that was before me. Actually, it was before me.
Was it?
That was just before me, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what series she was in. What was she? Was she in Wave 4? I can't remember.
Do you have a Quisp yet for your
cereal collection? He looks weird. He looks like a snork. Is it Snorks?
Snorks, yes. Those were the snorkel version of Smurfs. The sea Smurfs.
Snorks, yeah, sea Smurfs, yeah. He's all right. He's pretty cool. Where's he from?
Cereal. Quisp cereal.
What
was the company?
Yeah.
Is it Toynami, I think? I think it's Toynami. From 2001 or 2000, I want to say. And it's that. What is this? Is this PVC? The hard plastic?
Is it like hollow? ABS?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's sort of
it's like my Mr. Men ones.
It feels like it would crack.
Yeah. Yeah, ABS.
But any figure that has a propeller, I'll take.
I claim to love all these cereal mascots and things, and I do. I'm intrigued by.
But you hate Quisp. You can say it. You hate Quisp.
But the cereals themselves are horrible. Fruit Loops is the only exception. I did a quick. I don't know what it was. I did a taste test, different cereals, a few months ago, and it was like I almost threw up. It was.
Is it just the? Well, I mean, also to a British palate, you generally don't go as sweet as Americans.
Salty. Like bread is a great example, right? I go and buy a loaf of bread in England, and it's now if I went to England now and had a loaf of bread, it'd be salty. I'd go, God, it's so salty. Whereas I came over here, I had a loaf of bread. It's just full of sugar. So when I put an American sliced bread into the toaster, I can't get it crispy enough because there's so much sugar in it. It sort of burns itself too quick and just comes out like hot and burnt and soggy. It's weird. Anyway, little things, first world problems. But,
so when you hit home, what's the first UK candy that you get?
I love chunky Kit Kats. They're my favorite. Chunky Kit Kats and double deckers. They are my favorite. If anyone wants to send me any, you feel free. But yeah, they're the first. It's what I used to do is if I went out and had a little bit of too much adult beverage the night before, the next morning I'd drive to work and I'd stop and I'd buy a chunky Kit Kat, a bottle of Diet Coke. No, a bottle of Coke, not Diet. A bottle of Coke and salt and vinegar McCoys. Again, most people that are listening to this are going, I have no idea what those brands are apart from the Coke. But yeah.
I do, and you've sold me.
Nice.
Although now I'm wishing I had an Aero bar.
Aero.
And some Maltesers.
Oh, Maltesers are nice. I like bite. What's this got to do with toys? I like biting them, and then you can just burrow into them with your tongue. So you get into the Maltesers, the honeycomb, and it just melts and sort of fizzes on your tongue.
How disappointed were you the first time you ever had a Whopper? Have you ever had a Whopper? The American Malteser? No, the American malted balls.
Oh well, I love America, but your chocolate's
nothing
awful.
compared. Well,
no, I have had a Whopper. They're okay,
they're so hard and stale compared to a good Malteser.
The chocolate is very different here.
Well, someone described the difference, and you can tell me if you agree with this. Is that American chocolate tastes sour?
Yes. There's a bitterness
like
to
the
it.
milk's
It's almost
gone
like
on.
in England there's cooking chocolate. My dad had a restaurant. I used to run restaurants and things and hotels, and I used to sneak into the restaurant's kitchen when I was about 5, go into the big store cupboard, and there would be a massive box of chocolate, cooking chocolate, which is very different that you'd use to make cakes and things, because you add sugar to it depending on what you're doing, and that was quite bitter, not like dark chocolate bitter, but just it tasted
but more like a straight
sour,
cocoa.
and that's like American
straight
chocolate.
cacao sort of taste more than.
Sorry, I have to turn up a bit, I can't hear.
and certainly not a milk chocolate.
No. But anyway, each to their own. I'm sure all the Americans love
I
their
recommend
chocolate.
everyone
They
get a
eat it and
Malteser.
go, oh, it tastes like, well, it's all gritty.
Get a package of Whoppers, get a package of Maltesers, and you'll never eat a Whopper again.
That's
I
true.
guarantee you. You know what? I think there's only maybe one or two more things to talk about, and then we'll head out.
Sure.
Because I want to thank you all on the Marvel team for forcing me to buy something.
What's that?
Because it hit a strong emotional beat for me. Speaking of customs, the only other time that I customed, quote unquote, in my life was as a kid in the 80s. Because I got this figure. And this figure was such a disappointment to me as someone who loved Dr. Doom in the comics.
Yeah.
Because this Mattel Secret Wars Dr. Doom is not in his regular outfit.
Mm-hmm.
From the comics. This was only in that limited series. In fact, it was only in like 2 issues, maybe an issue and a half of that limited series, and it was gone. But this is the figure they chose, and I was so disappointed, so mad, so mad. So I took it upon myself to get an extra one of those figures, so my idea of not ruining my original stance. And with felt.
I've seen this. Yeah,
you've seen this.
Did you do this now, or did you do this when you were a kid?
And
I don't want you to be insulted.
This was when I was a kid.
Oh, that's the actual one?
Is the actual one.
That's
I taught myself to sew. Felt, which is not fun to sew.
No, it's not. It's difficult.
Because you have to get the initial catch of the thread to where it doesn't keep pulling through because the weave is large enough for if you just like knot if you normally would.
Yeah.
So I made a belt.
So is that your most precious figure then?
I think so.
It's got to be
because and there's colored duct tape.
That's brilliant.
I made it a little holster.
How old were you when you did that?
I mean, it would have been shortly after the line came out, so I was. I'm very proud of myself, Steve. Age shouldn't matter. No, I would have been
8.
Maybe 10.
Oh, that's great. See, that's good, isn't it?
So
love those things.
Thank you for this. And bringing back all those memories. So I'm going to go buy myself some felt.
I was going to say, you still got to felt it up. Oh, that sounds wrong.
So keep an eye out for that custom.
I look forward to it. And the big question will be: will the haberdashery be better now, or will it be the same as your 10-year-old, Ken?
I don't know. Look at how straight that seam line is that I did, and how hidden it is. I think it's going to be inferior. I don't think I can do. I think I'm downhill from. Not as good. Clearly not as good.
The eyesight's on the handshake more.
Yeah, clearly not as good. Like, can I cut tape like that anymore? No.
That's a good story.
So, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
exactly why we did it.
making me buy a box set just to get.
Just so you can felt it up.
And I think the last thing that I'm going to try and open, I'm going to clear all this off, but I do want to remind everyone who's watching, and sorry for the echo, I don't know what's happening with the echo. It's fine, we'll deal with it. But
I'll turn me down again.
You have tell everyone again about the convention you have coming up, and everyone where they can follow you online.
All right, will do. Everybody pay attention for the PSA. G.I. Joe. So you can follow me on Instagram at Stevie1818, Stevie18. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Threads now for some reason, but it's the same. I will be supporting my friend Chris at ChrisCon, which is a very small but perfectly formed comic and toy and customization and toy photography convention, which is being held at the Doubletree Hotel in Milford, Massachusetts, on Sunday, this Sunday, from 10 till 3. Entry is $10. You will find a load of retro toy sellers there. You will find some modern toy sellers. You will find customizers showing techniques. There are dioramas there that you can go and take your figures and photograph them and get tips from talented toy photographers. Chris runs raffles, he runs competitions, he does quizzes. I will be raffling a Galactus mint in shipper for benefit of Save the Children. I'll also be selling Mr. Stevie 18 merch. I've got like Let 'em Breathe stickers, I've got Mr. Stevie's Customs pins, I've got I've packed them away now. I've got little custom serial character things that I've been mucking around with, and I'm kind of just selling just for a bit of a laugh. And I'm going to do a bit of a Q&A on the toy industry, and I'm just hanging around and just kind of chat with the community and just kind of re-energize myself for the second half of the year. So if you're around in the Northeast, pop along, and I look forward to seeing you there. Oh, and I just got followed by Matthew Derry 2009. If you're watching this, fantastic.
Well, I hope everyone who's not following you follows you. Your account is amazing. I hope the Tall Tales come back.
I keep meaning
I
to.
know
It's
there
a
must
lot
have been a
of effort to put
production
in and
nightmare.
Not many people watch it, but
well, for people who don't know, go to plug your YouTube channel, because everyone can go watch the Tall Tales there.
Oh yeah, so I've got Tall Tales on Instagram, so you can find it there under my videos under.
Also,
series,
just so I can hear you say the whole thing, say the whole title.
You can find my toy documentary series called Mr. Stevie's Tall Toy Tales. That was pretty good, actually. That was pretty good. Which basically explores my collection and the movies and the brands behind them. So you tour my collection one story at a time. That's available on Instagram. I also have it on YouTube, which I assume is Mr. Stevie 18 as well. I don't know. I hardly use it. But come and find me on Instagram, and there'll be something you like, I'm sure. But yeah, it's good fun. I try and answer lots of questions and things as much. People DM me quite a lot, and I do my best to answer most of them. So come and
you should
have a chat.
repost the Tall Toy Tales. See, I did it first time. To Instagram to sort of refresh people on them being available.
Yeah, I can do that. I can.
Now that you've surpassed 18,000,
I know.
so many people.
I'll tell you what. I'll bore most people on my Instagram by putting the tall toy tales into my stories. So like there's 6 episodes. That's episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could work that out. I said 6 episodes. I'll put those onto my story so you can quickly click through and watch it.
At the very least, you owe us another holiday episode this year.
Yeah, I will do something at the end of this year. I'll do something.
Last thing I'm opening while we're talking is going to be this that came.
Cool.
Yeah,
Fantastic
you know what?
Four.
We need
I'm
some
just going to let you know,
Fantastic
Ken,
Fours.
that my battery is running way down. So
I know.
if I suddenly disappear, don't think I've gone off.
Oh no, it's going to be a hate quit. I understand. I'm opening a competitive figure, and but I came this week, and so I have to.
That's all right.
But you've both done great.
Thanks.
But unfortunately, the Marvel Legends Fantastic Four figures are impossible to find for folks. So
It's not my fault.
time for a re-release is what I'm saying. Who else is going to be able to deal with Valeria and Franklin?
They're troublesome kids for sure.
You know what? I'm going to take this out just to speed that along. Are there Tall Toy Tales that you sort of had in mind that you just never got around to yet?
I had like 20 odd episodes ready. Like I don't know how I'm going to do my Star Wars one.
What's going to be a multi-part epic, right?
Yeah, well, most of my documentaries are like 20 minutes. But I was going to do one on like Ghostbusters and Thundercats, and I was going to call it like You're Too Old for Toys. That was when I was babysitting and used to play with toys that belonged to the kids I was babysitting, and my mum was like, "You're too old for toys. Why are you playing with toys?" I was going to do that one. I could do my Star Wars one. I was going to do I did a little one. I did a quick one, like an 80s TV one, where I've got my Dukes of Hazzard and my A-Team stuff. I think I called that a bag of Watsits. Yes, it was. It was like a 5-minute one. So I try and sort of do the 20-minute one, and I do like a 5-minute one, or I'll do like a sort of a weird, just a post. I don't know. Instagram, my whole Instagram account has sort of become that already. I think it's sort of, I show the stuff that I've got and I try and tell stories behind it. So it's sort of all sort of merged into just my account. That's what my account sort of stands for, really.
So now that you've got one, what are you going to be doing with your Crystar? Is it going to get? Are you going to get more Crystar? Are you going
expensive? Expensive. I got to read the comics. I literally don't know. I've never heard of him until Dwight came up and said, "Hey, we're going to do Crystar," and I was like, "Who?" So I'll read the comics. I've got some sitting there. I'm waiting for the rest of them. So I'll read those 11 comics over the weekend, hopefully. And if I like it and I get hooked into it, then I'll look to buy the rest. I think it's quite a small run. I think there's like 6 figures.
It was just one wave, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just like that. But they're not cheap. They're not crazy prices.
So is that the peril then of getting introduced to a line like this? Because I know that when you get the fever, when it's like, oh gosh.
Yeah, well, the problem I've got at the moment is that I've nearly collected everything that I had as a kid, or I felt, I've rebought. I've got a lot of it. It's not everything. And now I'm finding a situation where I'm like, well, if I was a kid, if I knew about that when I was a kid, I probably would have got that. So I get that. Like the Crystal one, I'm like, I would have probably dug that as a kid. But I don't think they had it in England. I didn't know anything about it. So that's what I'm finding now. Like the Black Hole, I didn't get the Black Hole figures. And I didn't like the movie when I was a kid. I like the movie now. It's a bad movie, but it's actually a really good story. And
you know what?
So
it's a movie that sticks with you after you see it.
Say again?
The movie sticks with you after you see it.
Yeah, it's the soundtrack as well, the John Barry soundtrack. I heard that and I was like, this is a Bond movie soundtrack. And I went, oh, it's John Barry. But
and
so
also,
I'm doing
this
that
looks
now.
like a 1950s Disney film.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I really like the story, the premise of it, and the fact, because I was watching it and I was like, they better go through I hope they go through the Black Hole, and I hope they end it on like the continuing adventures, because that would be wicked. And they did. So I think I put a post on the sequel, didn't I? On the remake.
No, I don't
I put a post. I put a post pretending who I'd cast, recast, like reboot. That was it. I did this like if they rebooted it, this would be my ideal cast.
So who's your Roddy McDowell?
He wasn't in it. Roddy McDowell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Roddy's in it.
No, is he? Don't think so.
Isn't Roddy in it?
Don't know. I can't look on my phone because I'm talking to it. I don't think so.
Welcome to the past.
If I've got the guy who's Roddy McDowell, he wasn't in it. Anyway,
Well,
go on my post. I can't remember.
I have my phone. I'll look just so your brain doesn't break.
I put various people on it. It's too late in the day.
Who's your Slim Pickens?
Who's that? Are we talking about the same movie?
Yeah. Slim Pickens was the broken down robot.
Oh, old Bob.
Yeah.
Who's Slim Pickens? Is that the actor?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know who that actor is. It's very American. I was like, I don't know who that is.
He also rode the bomb in Doctor Strangelove.
I didn't cast old Bob. I cast Vincent. I think. I literally can't remember. Can you just make him look stupid?
Oh, you know what? I was confusing. I was confusing Roddy McDowell for Anthony Perkins.
There you go. See, Durant. I actually put Durant as. This is a very marvelous. I put Tom Holland as Durant, and then I had RDJ as Reinhardt, because there's this. Because obviously Durant looked up to Reinhardt and thought he was right, and Tom Holland and RDJ have that sort of Iron Man Spider-Man relationship, and RDJ could be a really good Reinhardt.
Yeah, we're gonna mix and match at the end here.
Just plump him in.
I like having a cozy though. I like the idea of a little figure cozy to put like a candy bar or something.
So is that just a hollow that you put them in, or is it connect?
So it's like he's wrapped around and so.
Oh, that's interesting.
And then you also have
Put your
Another
beer
bit here you can elongate.
Mm.
Oh, I was thinking more.
Gives me good ideas for the new Fantastic Four movie that will eventually
There we
come
go.
out.
So if you want to do them even more stretchy, well,
Breaks.
I'm not going to take the full time to pop it in, but yes. So that's the idea: is that you can get you stretch here, and he's got. Oh, this is the neck.
Flask.
This is for extending the neck. Right? Yeah.
My battery is going to go, and I can't plug it into charge because I've got my
Well, you know
microphone
what?
on.
You won't have to because we're going to say goodbye to everybody.
All right.
But listen, we've had a great time.
I'm starving.
I'm going to put Dr. Doom back in the Mr. Fantastic pouch. But hey, thank you for joining me.
Hey, pleasure. It's always a
on
pleasure.
Open Chat.
We had a
Everyone
good-
go follow Mr. Stevie 18
Please.
on all the things. You know, go say hi to him at the convention. Go pick up all of his stuff. I hope you have to tell me how folks outside the convention can get a hold of some of that stuff.
Oh no, it's exclusive.
Don't you haslab it. Don't you has
Steve Lad.
gonna make that a verb. Well, everyone, thank you very much. Reminder, like and subscribe. There's a Patreon link, tip link, Amazon wish list. I'm gonna move this off the side. Hi. Go hit all those things if you are so inclined. Oh, and teasing. There's another Open Chat on Monday. And I'm going to reveal for everyone here who that guest is. So I'm going to turn us off. Oh, I muted for a second. I think I still do this. Let me see. Boom.
John Hodgman.
Quick tease. John Hodgman will be on Open Chat on Monday. So be prepared for a fun, awkward conversation with my pal John. He makes fun of me while I open up toys. So,
Good old John.
so bye, everybody. As we wave awkwardly while I end the broadcast and hope that